Welcome back, everybody, to Living in Arizona Now. Today we're going to do an Arizona Waterworld summer road trip. We're going to go up to Fossil Creek. We're going to show you around the water wheel in Payson, go to Tonto Natural Bridge. For those of you looking to cool down in the summer, this is for you. First up, here we are on the beeline, going through Fountain Hills, arriving into Fossil Creek. Now you do need a permit for this one, so you need to go on to recreation.gov to get that permit in advance. Now there is a 14-mile dirt road before you get to the ranger station where they will check your permit. Once you pass through the gate, there's 5 parking spots where you can reserve your parking space on the website. So today we parked at the Irving Flume Trailhead and we're gonna walk it in there where the hydro dam is. The walk is a little over a mile to the waterfall from the parking spots, but you can see once you're out here just how beautiful this Emerald Creek is. I mean, it's hard to believe this is in Arizona, and it's not too widely known because you do have to get that permit. They limit the amount of people that can come in and out of here. And we show this to you guys at home because we want you to see just how unique and beautiful this part of Arizona is. It's nearby Pine and Strawberry, kind of in between Wet Beaver Creek and the Tonto Natural Bridge. Now, Fossil Creek is a pack in and pack out. No fires, no camping is allowed here. There are no trash cans up here, so you're gonna have to make sure you bring all your trash with you, and that's your responsibility to the area to leave nothing but footprints. And if you want to be an honorable, upstanding citizen, if you see any trash, you can also pick that up as well, because let's preserve this area as the pristine natural gem that it really is. So once you actually get out to the falls, you'll notice there's many different swimming holes and mini waterfalls along the way, deep enough to swim around, so bring a snorkel and some swimming gear because there's plenty of swimming spots to cool off on a hot day. Because after all, June, July, and August in the summer in Arizona, quite hot even up here in the high country. And after a very scenic walk, we finally arrive here at what's commonly called 2020 Falls because it's 20 feet tall and 20 feet deep. So it's a deep pool. Many people swim. It's basically the end of the trail for most people. This is where you're going to want to snorkel and swim the most. It's a great reward after a hike like that. There's also a little cave behind the waterfall. You can actually jump off the top, but please be careful, guys, because some people have gotten hurt because the pool is quite deep and it can be a bit chaotic for someone who's inexperienced. Just wanted to put that out there because it's not easy to get emergency vehicles or emergency crews out to this part of the creek. Now, I know what you're thinking. How is there such a paradise place like this in Arizona? And I will say this, there's even more hidden gems in Arizona that are like this in this same area and other parts of the state. If you guys want us to explore some of that, let us know in the comments. But after you've done swimming, make sure you bring in some food, snacks, something that you can easily eat while here, maybe a sandwich. And that's why I want to remind you guys that when you're out here in the desert in the summer, make sure you're bringing plenty of water and also sun protection. Typically, I like to wear those long sleeve UV resistant shirts because I don't like to swim in the water wearing sunscreen and putting all that chemical and oil on my body and in the water, right? And once you're all refreshed after a nice swim, you can go up behind the waterfall and there are some Native American ruins, ancient pottery shards. Native people were here in the area many moons ago, so you can see why it's just so beautiful, right? Could you imagine living here, what it would have been like? Now, I just want to remind you, do not take any of those pottery shards or arrowheads or any artifacts. You're supposed to leave them right there on the site, so don't try to take those home with you. All right, now that we've wrapped this up, we're going to pack it out, make sure we got all our belongings and all our trash, and we're going to head towards Payson. But we're not actually going to go all the way into Payson. We're actually about 20 minutes outside at the Tonto Natural Bridge State Park. There is a fee to enter the park. You can also get an Arizona State Park annual pass. I want to say it's around $80 for the whole year, and that allows you access to all the state parks at many different places and times without having to pay that fee every time you go. And if you plan to be an adventurer person like we are, then definitely get that pass. I've also got the National Parks Pass that came as a veteran. For those of you who are veterans, you can apply for that online. But this park here closes at 5 p.m., so try to get up here early enough. And yes, this is Arizona. You can see how lush it is with all these vines and growth of the green shrubs along the side here of the cliffs. Just amazing. You might find some wild berries. There's actually quite a few different hiking trails for you to walk around. That's why if you arrive around 9 or 10 in the morning, it gives you more time without the extreme heat to explore all of the trails. And then you actually go towards the backside and you can walk down. They've built an actual trail with a wood plank path once you get down to the bottom, but up top you've got to walk on some pavement, and then it kind of turns into a dirt trail with some rocks. Make sure you bring the proper shoes, guys. A lot of people come out here with some sandals or something that just doesn't work for hiking. Not a good idea if you plan to hike down to the actual natural bridge. And I would say the hike down from the top to the bottom of the creek bed maybe takes 10 minutes down, 15 minutes up. Just depends on how fit you are, but it's not that bad. Now, just some facts about this natural bridge. It's actually the world's largest natural travertine bridge, sculpted by thousands of years of erosion from mountain springs. And who knows what else could have caused something so spectacular. It's 183 feet tall, and the length is about 400 feet. The width up above is 150 feet at its widest part. And once you arrive here, you can see it kind of looks like a keyhole, but actually as you get closer, you're like, wow, it's a lot bigger than I expected. There will be a little bit of water trickling down from the top down. That's kind of a cool little vibe there. If you go underneath, get that picture. Now, there isn't much swimming that's possible down here because it's kind of a stream, not much swimming holes, but you're not coming down here to do any swimming anyways. You're really coming here just to marvel at this natural wonder. And now we are going to head over to another hike. You can see some wildlife along the way. Who knows what you'll see? In this case, we just saw some cows, but you might come across some elk, deer, coyotes, who knows? Bears, black bears. This little hike here is called the Water Wheel. It's again just outside of Payson. The hike takes around 30 to 45 minutes to get up here. Just depends on how physically fit you are. Make sure you bring plenty of water. Again, this one doesn't require a permit, but you do need to bring your trash with you on the way out. There aren't going to be any trash cans along the trail. It is kind of a come as you are type trail. This is actually the East Verde. So this is a recreational fee required to the Tonto National Forest Pass. And the area is kind of rocky, as you can see. You go up, and once you get over the ridge, you drop back down on the other side. So make sure you're, again, wearing the proper shoes. In this case, you could even bring some water shoes in your backpack, so when you arrive, you can also walk in the water without cutting your feet. Or you could just do it the old school way and walk in the water barefoot. And you can see how clean and well preserved it is up here. Arizonans do a great job of cleaning up after themselves. Please don't be one of those people who decide to ruin it for everyone else and leave a bunch of trash or cause a big problem up here for the locals, because they don't like that stuff. But I know none of you would do that anyway. I'm just saying, if you see someone doing that, remind them kindly to pick up the trash, because that's what it's all about out here, is taking care of nature, keeping it clean for others and preserving it for future generations, because places like this have been around for a while and we want to be able to preserve them so the area can continue to flourish naturally. I mean, look at the vegetation and just how lush it is along this creek. That's what I love to see, because this is Mother Nature at her finest. And then once you get here, you can see they do have that little rock slide that you can go down. Just be careful, of course, as always. But cool place. This is the Water Wheel. That's what we call it out here in Arizona. Nice way to cool off after another hike. Also, I want to say, if you plan to do a lot of this Water World route, I would say come up on a Friday night, stay a night in Payson, have a full day on Saturday to explore, and then stay another night, maybe up on the Mogollon Rim, and explore up there at some of the lakes. Come back down, and that's a great weekend right there up in Payson. You'll realize this is a place you want to keep coming back to, because there's so much to explore in this area. You know, everyone thinks Arizona's so small and limited because they see videos online and they just think, oh, well, I've seen it all. No, you haven't. You have to realize Arizona is a huge state, and there's a lot of vast, wide open wilderness. And the more you explore it, the more you begin to realize this state is amazing. As you can see that little snake there, the question I have for you, is that a coral snake or a king snake? Because one's really venomous and the other is not. You tell me in the comments. Also, there are a few different campgrounds around here. If you come up during the weekdays, should be pretty easy to get a campsite. But if you come up on the weekends or a holiday, you're gonna probably be booked out. So keep that in mind. Then we end up heading over to the Green Valley Park here in Central Payson, a nice pit stop for the kiddos. If you guys want to have some fun, take the dog or dogs for a walk, or maybe even consider doing some fishing. You can see the ospreys circling around the lake here. That's always a cool sight. As you know, in Arizona, we've got so much diversity in birds. Considered some of the best bird watching in all the country. We can highlight that in another video if you'd like, but we're down here in Fountain Hills. This is a nice stop as you come back into Phoenix Valley area after spending a weekend up north, having a good time, checking out all the cool places up here. And Fountain Hills, one of the world's largest fountains. I think it shoots off every half hour or hour. You guys can check that out online if you have some questions about that more in detail. But here is a look at that fountain revving up, getting ready to go. What a cool sight to see, you know, in the evening time, very relaxing. See all the ducks and the geese, maybe some other birds hanging out around here. In fact, it is the tallest man-made fountain in the United States and the third tallest in the world. Built in 1970, it shoots water up to 560 feet in the air. What a cool sight to see, isn't it? That reminds me, from here in Fountain Hills, you can see the Four Peaks in the background. Makes me wonder if you guys are interested in exploring up there in the Four Peaks with us. As you can see, Arizona is a spectacular place to explore. We love to hear from you guys when you make recommendations about day trips or weekend getaways that you like to see from us, because we love to do the adventures ourselves and show them and share them with you. So let us know in the comments where you want us to go next. In fact, if you don't know where you want us to go, maybe you should watch our 88 best places to visit in Arizona video. Click right here.